Welcome. This is a Yin class and we're just going to start in a seat. So if you can sit your hips up a little higher than your knees, that's helpful. If you have a cushion or a pillow, anything at all, to just sit, just so that your body feels comfortable. And if you prefer, you could also lay down. So what we'll do is just kind of arrive here together. You might close your eyes and let yourself just be still and listen. Just a gentle listening into the feeling of what's touching the ground. Your spine, your shoulders. You might start to notice the feeling in your heart or chest area. So with this brief practice, we're going to investigate the feeling of being here and being with it rather than a means to an end, to get something out of it, to feel better at the end, or to do something that we think is good for us. Just kind of be curious about how do we feel right now? How do we feel right now? So if you have something there, we'll just move it to the side and lay down on our back. Oh, I forgot to mention, if you have a roller and two balls and sounds like a lot of stuff, and a strap and a block. To be honest, I don't know exactly what we're gonna do, but it's nice to have a bunch of stuff. You won't really even need any of it, because of course you can just breathe and lay and be. So as we come down to, this is kind of the time that I often like to practice or try to make time for it, and I'm just going to do with what feels, and I thought maybe it'd be fun if you joined me. So we'll windshield wiper our knees right to left, and I find this lately so interesting because as I drop my knees right to left, there's certain parts that feel stuck. I don't know if you're noticing that, and just kind of like it's almost hard to, I mean, in a subtle way, but like it's hard to just let the legs go side to side at first. And then as you kind of keep going, it feels like it gets a little easier, but there's still these little road bumps or stuff. So it's actually neat to just investigate that. What does it feel like to move the legs side to side? And the next time the knees drop let's go with the knees dropping to the left. And let's start to feel a little, possibly you might not feel anything, through that right hip crease, right side body, through your arm. Hi, Georgie. Hi, Georgie. And it's nice to have to let it be subtle. You know, I'm not sure for you, but for some reason for me right now, my right knee doesn't hurt. It just doesn't feel like it can relax. So I'm going to put my right knee on a block and see if I could just let it be weighted. Just like you're just letting your body be weighted on. And for me, this feels less of a stretch, but it feels more relaxing. It feels like I can actually just kind of be here for a little bit. We're just letting our body breathe. The stillness alone and the quiet alone is so valuable for our being. There's really no rules. You can breathe as you like. It's all welcome. So next we're going to sneak that right knee kind of on top of the left knee for a twist. Let your right arm reach away from you. I have my right hip stacked on top of my left because I think it feels kind of good, Georgie. It's time to relax. I think it feels kind of good. If that's too much, you can back off the right knee away from the left. And we'll just let our body in this nice rinse. Head can relax and go any which way. There's something about coming to a yin practice where it's like, rather than following rules of what it's supposed to look like, just letting yourself marinate in the sweetness of the practice, in the receiving of the kindness. And you might notice where might be still lifted a little. There's always going to be a little holding, but what might be able to soften a bit more. Taking one more breath. We'll actually roll to our belly next, and we'll get to the other side in a bit. I'm just going to roll to our belly and come to what's called Sphinx position. So that's where elbows roughly under shoulders, I'm kind of rocking and massaging my belly side to side, just to get a little feeling of ease in the belly and low back. And I didn't plan this, it just is happening. So if there's something in your body that's just happening, go with it. What if this doesn't feel good and you want to do something like this? What if laying on your belly doesn't feel good at all? Or maybe you're pregnant and you wouldn't want to lay on your belly. That's something about the beauty of practicing at home with this, is you really can kind of mold the class for you. Bow your head if that feels good, just for a little neck. To me, it feels like in the back and sides of my neck, it feels like it's a nice release. If it feels yucky or cranking on anything, you don't have to do it. You can skip it. If it feels pinchy in your low back, back off. Back off that back. So next we'll weave the left arm under the right for a shoulder stretch. So this is for your deltoid, your left shoulder, and we'll lay down on our left arm. What I notice when in classes often is people are trying to feel this stretch and get it, so they reach their arm away, and what happens is that backs you off the stretch. So sort of the more you weight the right side of your body, the more you'll feel it. But you can just play and investigate around with that. Notice if your butt cheeks are clenching, if anything can soften more, and we'll just stay for a few moments. Take another breath. The rollover will be our release. If you'd like to play with this, it's fun. Just keep the left arm as is. So you're not going to move the left arm at all. In fact, you might even roll off your mat, which is, I think it's fine. And so the right hand will push down to let your body just roll to the back. And you'll just kind of flop on over. Sometimes, right now my right ankle is crossed over my left because it just sort of happened. And we're feeling the receiving of that left arm. Oh, and while we're here, this This is cool. Walk your legs to the left and your arms to the left for banana pose. Maybe keep that right ankle crossed over the left ankle if it's there. This is a side stretch for your right side. This will be our last one, then we'll do all the on the other. So this one's a side stretch. I'm kind of on the tile on this floor, which isn't as comfy, so I'm gonna scooch to the mat. And you know what's neat? I'm just kind of discovering every moment you take an extra moment to take care, you're watering the seeds of that compassion for self and other. So I could grunt through, I could bear through, on the harder floor. But it wasn't, I could also just move over to the side a little bit. It's kind to myself. And every moment that we practice the kindness for ourselves, that we're kind to ourselves, it equals kind to another. So just breath. Maybe even do it if it feels good to reach, you can reach. Not just stay. Let's unwind the foot. Wiggle back out to center. Just take a pause. Feels all uneven. Kind of good. Bend your knees, feet wide, windshield wipers. So this is where we started after the brief seated meditation. And you might just see, what does this windshield wiper feel like now? Without necessarily too many words, but just, can the legs just flop over, or is there some area that is holding, kind of stuck a little bit? And again, the goal is not to make it unstuck or fix it. The vision is to be with the feeling and be with it as it is. Knees drop to the right, and let's see how this goes. So this side kind of feels like I can just relax without putting that block under there. We'll see how it goes with time. My brain is going, I should do exactly the same thing I did on the other side. But really, in the gut, in the intuition, it knows that it doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't have to think about it, I could just feel it, tune into it. I just brought awareness to my right leg, and I was lifted it up a little bit, just subtly. And then I just said, oh, okay, you can relax. And when I relax that right leg, now I want to put the block under my left thigh. So there is a value to sometimes just being still. And there's a value to adjusting to comfort. Because this is a class of comfort and nourishment. So next we'll come into the twist. Left knee will stack over the right, and you can let that left arm float or come to the ground, head. And remember that it's a shape that doesn't have one way. Every body's shape is going to be a little different. So as we set up a shape, just get inside of you, micro adjust to what might feel helpful, and then we be. just take this all the way to our belly, whenever you're ready. Back to that Sphinx position. Rocking out that belly, that just feels so nice. Bowing the neck. Weave the right arm under left for our right shoulder. Again, if you reach the right arm far away from you, you'll get a little less stretch, which might be nice. You kind of snug that right shoulder. I'm not sure if you can see, but my right shoulder's not even on the ground. It's kind of lifted here, and that gives me a pretty good stretch. If you don't feel too much of it subtle, that's fine too. Relaxing the hips. Breath. What can get heavier? And now we'll roll to our back. That roll over, so the right arm will stay as is. Woo. Landed myself on some props that I don't think we're going to be using any of. And we'll make our way right into banana. So the legs will sneak to the right. The arms will sneak to the right. You're creating this half moon shape or banana shape with your body. Left ankle over right. I have a ball under my butt and it's nice, so I'm going to just go with it. Just a few breaths here. Slowly unwind. Now just close with some windshield wipers side to side. And you might just get curious, what does this feel like now? Does it feel different at all than the first one? Or maybe not. Let's actually roll to our side. If you prefer to practice a Shavasana, laying all the way down, in kind of a more traditional corpse pose, or if you would like to sit for just a few moments. Placing a hand on your heart, maybe the other hand on top. Just acknowledging the moment, the time you took to be here. sending love and peace for all. Thank you.